A firehood of falsehoods are being pushed by Russia and Russian trolls right in the waning hours of this campaign and election, and the U.S. spy agencies, CIA and FBI and others are worried about it. We've got some recent examples. I'm going to cover it right here. I'm Michael Popok at The Intersection, and you're on the new Legal AF YouTube channel. There it is. Help us get to 275,000 subscribers in our first 6 weeks of existence. Just hit that blue free subscribe button. Early voting has already started here on Legal AF. Let's talk about the trolling and why it matters. I've reported on numerous occasions over the last year or 2 years that Russian trolls led by the Russian government and Putin, you know, the person that Donald Trump is in a bromance with, the one that Elon Musk takes marching orders from, he wants to destroy America. And one of the ways to destroy America is to install in the American presidency a weak, feckless coward of a president in Donald Trump, and use him to undermine the American democracy brand around the world. Our enemies want a person like Donald Trump to hold the torch of freedom because no one will be attracted to it, and that's not a great supporter for democracy. If Putin could have made in a lab a president in America that would be perfect for him and his objectives of world takeover, it would be Donald Trump, right? Who else? But you'd have the guy attack NATO, attack his own allies, basically signal to Putin that he's free to take over all of Europe and all of Ukraine, and certainly Poland next, and he'll do nothing to stop it. Okay? Now we've got the Russian trolls working overtime. Every time you hear about a phony artificial intelligence AI generated event, like Kamala Harris was in a hit and run accident and hit a teenage girl when she was a prosecutor. False, created by the trolls. Now, the trolls who create these things, and I got two new ones, a new allegation that Kamala Harris and her husband took a $500,000 bribe from P. Diddy, from Sean Combs, connecting the dots in an inappropriate way between a sex scandal where somebody's been charged like Puff Daddy and is sitting in jail, and tying it back to Kamala Harris. It's the evil genius of the Russians. They put their finger in and twist the knife, if you will, about stories that seem sort of could be true, knowing and trying to exploit the weaknesses in the American psyche and the MAGA psyche. They know MAGA is hungry for this type of information, and they're more than willing to feed them this fake red meat. And that's what they do. They get up every morning, the Russian trolls working for Putin, and they say, what would be most believable by MAGA that they'll then take and run with and multiply a trampoline effect to do what we can't even do. Trolling only works if somebody's on the other side to receive it and then use it and forward it, and then it becomes a 10 million follower or retweeting problem. And as they say, you know, a lie gets all the way around the world before the truth gets its boots on. That's what we got here. So every day the Russians wake up along with and if they're not waking up, the Chinese are doing it, or the Iranians, or even countries that are our frenemies like India. And they're saying, how can we weaken America? And they're exploiting MAGA, that weak-minded group of people who claim to be patriots while all they're being is brainwashed, willingly brainwashed. It's invited by them. It's the only time I've ever seen where I can't even call them a victim. They want to be brainwashed by the Russians. There's no other way to put it. So here's the new one that, of course, and the fire hose of falsehoods, that comes from a quote from the U.S. intelligence community. We've got and they also try to exploit people's fears about the integrity of our voting right now, which is promoted by MAGA and Donald Trump. So it's collusion in the way that they're using MAGA, the Russian trolls, to advance their own agenda. That's the collusion. It may not be coordinated where I don't think there's a phone call or a signal or a WhatsApp every day where the Russian trolls get on the phone with somebody in the Trump campaign, but they don't need to. The Trump campaign can see it. They know, let's use that. That's collusion as far as I'm concerned. So you have Now you have things about ballots because they know there's fear and insecurity against ballots. So there's a fake AI generated claim of Russian trolls in the last 2 weeks that ballots are burning in Pennsylvania. That's not true. Now, there were ballot boxes that were attacked in Washington and Oregon, but the claim that there were ballots in Pennsylvania were being destroyed or set on fire, that was false. But you see how it just touches, right? It's just truthy enough because it picks up on the Oregon and Washington true stories about incendiary devices being dropped into mailboxes for ballots. See how ingenious they are, this evilness. And so the most recent one is the Russians trolls about Pennsylvania destroyed ballots. And then there's another one, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and our senior official with Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, right? CISA, C-I-S-A, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. He's the one that called it a fire hose of disinformation. They said there's also ballots, there's also fake videos out there to try to sway voters in elections and inflame partisan divisions by showing these videos of ballots on fire, ballots being destroyed, somebody committing fraud. It all fits in with the 2020 election where they accused Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss of using a thumb drive to stick it into a Dominion voting machine in order to turn votes from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. It was a breath mint. But the MAGA idiots believed it. I'm not here to call them garbage. I'm just saying they're weak-minded and easily manipulated because they want to be. I don't know what you call. Put it in the comments. What do you call somebody that's been brainwashed but has invited it? What's that called? I know that's also a cult definition. I mean, when you sign up for the cult, you sort of have invited the brainwashing. And I think that's what we're seeing here again. We've got now the videos. The Russians also know how to manipulate MAGA. There's some guy called Alpha Fox, right, who says he's sometimes satirical, but he takes the troll from Russia and he promotes it to his followers. So Alpha Fox got a hold of it. He's got 650,000 followers. He's a guy in Massachusetts, but as far as I'm concerned, he's a foreign asset. He's a Russian asset. He's a Russian troll. He's at least in a conspiracy to aid and abet a Russian troll. There's no other ways around it. Then there's the argument because here, going right, sticking the finger right in the wound. There's Russian troll videos out there that claim improperly, falsely, that illegal Haitians, of course, we got to pick on the Haitian community again. Why not? Kick an entire group while they're down. Stick your foot on their throat while they're down. That the Haitian illegals, the ones that are here they're not illegals, the ones that are here under temporary protective status in Ohio and other places, that they're voting. The Democrats are having the Haitians who aren't citizens vote. No, we're not. No, we're not. Get a grip. Get a grip. Cut out the nonsense. I just read an article in sports pages about the head of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC, the big football conference, figuring out that to slow down the pace of the opponent, some teams are faking injury on the sidelines. Oh, my hamstring, timeout, because the quarterback has gone no huddle. And the SEC sent a memo. At the end of the memo, they said, we're on to you with your fake injuries, and you should be embarrassed and knock off. They basically said, knock off the silliness and get back to playing football, right? Knock it off. Same thing here. Knock it off. Get a grip. This is not happening. And if you think it's happening, assume it's false. When I get a text message or an email from somebody with typos in it or otherwise that says they're a Nigerian prince, and if I send them money, I'll make a load of money, I automatically know that's fake. When I see a phishing or spoofing email in my inbox that has things misspelled or weird email addresses for people that claim they're my friends that need money, I know it's fake. Or a bank where there's a typo or otherwise telling me to phone in and give them the passwords or put them here in the email. I know it's fake. Why don't these people know that it's fake? Because they're in a cult and they're willingly being brainwashed. There's examples, for instance, They used one here where a Haitian immigrant who arrived 6 months ago apparently claims that in the fake video that he got his citizenship already. We're voting for Kamala Harris yesterday in Gwinnett County, and he shows some ID cards that look like Georgia driver's licenses and saying all Haitians to come to America to vote. And then an address on it. And then Elon Musk Political Action Committee also forwarded it. I mean, come on. Microsoft is working overtime. Microsoft has the Threat Analysis Center. They're working overtime to shut down these videos about Puff Daddy having some sort of secret relationship with Kamala Harris and the rest. But this only works because the Russians know that MAGA are weak and can be brainwashed. I've been saying it for the last several years. Russia, Iran, China, a little bit of India, a little bit of our frenemies want to put Americans at each other's throats. Donald Trump is the perfect foil for that. So is MAGA. A seething at each other's throat, verge of civil war America benefits who around the world? Our enemies. It's strength. The weaker we are, the stronger they are. We, as a concept of democracy, of a capitalist system that generally works and generates hundreds and trillions of dollars, scares the shit out of our adversaries and our enemies around the world who are in communist countries where their people are suffering except for the very top of the oligarchy, the very top of the kleptocracy. Everything else, everybody else suffers. They hate America as a concept and they want it destroyed from within. Wouldn't you, if you were them? And you don't have to do it by war. You can make the enemy shoot itself in the head. That's what we're watching. And anybody thinks that Donald Trump is some sort of tough guy, he is the perfect lab-created foil for communists around the country, around the world. You could not ask for a better, weaker person to run for the presidency and to run this government than Donald Trump. MAGA, wake up. Scales need to drop from your eyes and in time. Election day, Tuesday. I'll be here working overtime on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. There's our logo. Hit the free subscribe button. Help us build a lasting, durable channel with the collaboration with the Midas Touch Network. And we'll see you on the other side of Tuesday. I got a lot more videos to do right here on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF. I'm Michael Popok, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.